Cebu, home of many firsts. Here is where recorded history, as we know it, first began. The first Spanish settlement. The first governor in the country was proclaimed. The cradle of Christianity in the Philippines. Nestled strategically at the heart of the Philippines, Cebu is a leading hub for commerce and industry outside Luzon. A bustling metropolis which economic engines continued to run even when the world ground to a halt for 2 years. Cebu has so much to offer than urban living. The island enjoys the prestige of being a top tourist hub in the country and has proven to be a place that stays in the hearts and minds of travelers from all over the world. In 2019, Philippine tourism statistics showed that Cebu accounts for more than 20% of both domestic and international tourist arrivals in the country. This is even higher in the previous years. Mactan Cebu International Airport, which is the second busiest airport in the country, caters to almost 600 international flights and 1,500 domestic flights every week before the pandemic. In 2020, international travel magazine Condé Nast declared Cebu and the Visayas Island as the best islands in Asia. This year, Travel Plus Leisure ranked Cebu as one of the world's best 25 islands. This island of 44 towns, 6 component cities, and 3 highly urbanized cities have so much to offer. Moalboal Town, for example, has been a diving haven for the past 40 years and recently known for its sardine run. There is the whale shark watching in Oslob, canyoneering adventure in Alegria, scenic forests in Mantalungon, the gushing walls of waterfalls in Badian and Barili, and other exciting eco-adventures. Cebu takes pride in its old churches and historical landmarks. In the northern side, San Remigio has established itself to be a perfect beach getaway with its long stretch of shoreline. Further north is Bantayan Island, a haven for beach lovers. Malapascua Island, famous for its thresher sharks and abundant marine life. But it was during the Suri-Suri Sugbo tours around the province, the brainchild of Governor Gwendolyn Garcia, that spurred countryside tourism and gave birth to more investment opportunities. Suroy means to explore a place, so the repetition of Suri-Suri refers to the repeated exploration of this exotic island province that is Cebu. Groups of local and foreign tourists, balikbayan, and business investors explore the hidden gems of the province, such as the heritage sites of the Southern Trail, white powdery beaches of the Northern Escapade, cultural traditions and industrial innovations of the Midwest exploration, and the enchanting beauty of the Camotes group of islands. Since its inception in 2004, Suri-Suri Sugbo has transformed sleepy towns into travel itineraries for local and international tourists alike.
Suri-Suri Sugbo!
As an offshoot to Suri-Suri Sugbo, Pasigarbo sa Sugbo, or Pride of Cebu, was born, another of Governor Garcia's brainchild project on tourism and culture. Pasigarbo sa Sugbo is a grand cultural showcase of the different festivals in the province's 51 local government units. It was during the conduct of Suri-Suri Sugbo when Governor Garcia encouraged the participating towns and component cities to come up with their own festival that tells the story of their locality and showcase their local patrimony and delicacies, products and industries, world-class destinations, as well as the strength of the people's faith and devotion. Since it first went on stage in 2008, donning colorful costumes and dancing to the rhythm of their festival jingles, the local governments battle it out once a year during the grandest festival showdown this country has ever seen, aptly winning for Cebu the undisputed title as the festival capital in the country. The activity is also a living testimony to the ingenuity of the Cebuanos and the Filipinos in arts and culture. From then on, other programs sprouted: One Cebu Expo, the Our Cebu Experience, and the Lakbay Lokal, all of which promote Cebuano creativity and craftsmanship in local and international trade fairs. This is a huge part of tourism initiatives as it promotes Cebu's brand. When COVID-19 happened, the disruption in everyone's lives was tremendous. Businesses closed and millions lost their jobs. Farmers and fisherfolk had no one to sell their harvests to. But after a close scrutiny of the figures, Governor Garcia saw the grim reality that more Filipinos are suffering from economic inactivity than from the curse of the virus. As early as August 2020, she decided to reopen Cebu's tourism and was the first local chief executive to do so in the entire country. She was the first local chief executive in the country to junk RT-PCR tests for travelers coming to Cebu, giving way to a more convenient travel experience. The first to impose shortened quarantine days for OFWs and returning Filipinos.
As the challenge always has been to us, Cebuanos, the premier province of the entire country, the recognized #1 province in the entire country, we were the very first to stand up and say, enough of lockdowns. We decided to move on and to move forward.
Despite earning the ire of some critics, the governor stood her ground for the Cebuanos. Because of her bold and brave moves, Cebu was steps ahead than the rest of the country in post-pandemic recovery. In December of 2021, Cebu suffered the brunt of devastation brought about by Super Typhoon Odette, damaging 450,000 households and 2/3 of the island. In the wake of the calamity, the governor poured all her efforts and energy in finding ways to help Cebuanos quickly get back on their feet. When the dust had settled, Governor Garcia addressed the pressing need of the hospitality industry, which was greatly affected by the calamity and lacked financing support to rebuild what Odette destroyed, along with the agriculture and livestock industry that were immensely affected. Capital took the initiative to hook them up with financing institutions and government banks to fund their recovery efforts at very low interest rates. Now, Cebu has been rebuilt, emerging stronger and more resilient than ever, despite the double whammy, the crisis brought by the pandemic and the disruption on its recovery efforts brought by the super typhoon.
We have been tested. We have faced sometimes the most insurmountable obstacles. And beyond all that, we survived. We did not only survive, we prevailed. And we showed the rest of the country this is the way we shall go.
Cebu continues to lead the way, as other local government units would take a cue from Cebu's playbook in managing tough and challenging situations. Her recent bold move was when she issued Executive Order No. 16, making the use of face masks optional in open and well-ventilated spaces. This policy may have earned the ire of former national officials, but the voluntary wearing of face masks was later made a national policy.
In fact, the whole world has sat up
taken notice and really recognized. In all things, Cebu continues to lead the way.
More than the economic gains, Governor Garcia's initiatives strengthened the Cebuanos' pride of place, giving a different meaning to a once naive and vulnerable provinciano who has now transformed into someone with strong presence, decisive and proud, her being the Primera Provinciana herself. Even the negative impression of a jail detention facility has now turned into an interesting itinerary for tourists when the Cebu Provincial Detention and Rehabilitation Center became popular because of its dancing inmates. The CPDRC dancing inmates arrived at the world stage when prisoners were made to perform choreographed dance routines as part of their daily exercise and rehabilitation. Another of Cebu's groundbreaking innovations, CPDRC dancing inmates is now back, open to tourists on scheduled visits. Tourism will always be a sunrise industry for Cebu. Along with the province's many industries, it is a main driver in the local economy that propelled Cebu to heights never before reached. Cebu is united, and because of this unity, Cebu is number one. And where Cebu leads, the rest of the country follows.
Buckle up. We're moving on. We're moving forward. We're soaring to great heights because the best is yet to come.
Minahal na Cebu.